What's going on, y'all? It's Steve here. So, you have a mass exodus going on out in the state of Maryland. And the reason for this is because a lot of these people who live out in the state of Maryland, a lot of them cannot afford to live in Maryland. So, a lot of these people who live in Maryland, they are making the choice to pack up their things and move down south and move to these red states. And not only that, but you have these liberal protesters out in Maryland making this silly ass demand stating that the minimum wage in Maryland should be $25 an hour. Okay, now here's what I have to say about this, okay? First thing, okay, because I want to talk to you blue state folk for a second. You know, us blue state folk, I want to talk to y'all for a second. You know, me being a blue state person, you know, born and raised a blue state person. I'm originally from the state of Delaware, which Delaware is a blue state. I now live in the state of New Jersey now. And New Jersey is also a blue state. And I'm not going to lie to y'all, living here in New Jersey, it's trash. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. And I wasn't even born and raised here in New Jersey. And I'm telling y'all, man, living here is trash. But anyway, to all of us blue state folk that are crying and complaining about the way of living being expensive and the cost of groceries going up in these blue states, here's my solution, okay? What we need to stop doing, okay, us blue state folk, what we need to stop doing is we need to stop voting Democrat and we need to start voting Republican, okay? Because let me tell you something. If us blue state folk, right, if we made the choice to stop voting Democrat and start voting Republican, I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, a lot of the issues that are going on in our states will be solved overnight. All right? So I'm telling y'all, for all of us blue state folk that are crying and complaining about the way of living being expensive and the cost of groceries being expensive, we need to stop voting Democrat. Okay? Because voting Democrat has done more harm than help to our states. Okay? So what we need to do is we need to get out of our feelings, okay? We need to start using our logic, and we need to make the choice to stop giving our vote to the Democrat Party and start giving our vote to the Republican Party, okay? We need to flip our states from blue to red. That's what we need to do, all right? And the second thing, too, when it comes down to these far left liberal protesters out in Maryland making this silly ass demand saying that the minimum wage in Maryland should be $25 an hour. Let me tell y'all something. For all of you liberal protesters out there in Maryland, y'all need to shut the hell up and sit down somewhere, okay? And y'all need to take this silly ass demand and shove it up your ass, okay? Let me tell y'all something. If the minimum wage in Maryland goes up, then the prices of these goods that these businesses sell to you in Maryland, they also go up. All right, so the price of eggs go up, the price of milk goes up, the price of bread goes up, the price of salmon and chicken go up. Even when it boils down to getting a pizza delivered to your house, that pizza, the price of that pizza goes up. Okay, so if the governor out in Maryland makes the choice to accept this silly ass demand that y'all want the minimum wage to be $25 an hour, then guess what? Everything goes up in the state of Maryland. Everything goes up exponentially in the state of Maryland. And not only that, but a lot of these businesses will close. And not only will these businesses close, but you're going to have a lot of people going through life without jobs in Maryland. Okay? So I'm going to need for you liberal protesters to sit down and shut up and to, take this silly ass demand and just shove it up your asses. Okay? Because y'all are doing more harm than help to your state. And let me tell you something, man, because the people that live down in these red states, these red state folk, they don't want people from these blue states moving down to the red states. They don't want that. As a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, you had a lot of these red state folk tell the blue state folk, like, yo, we don't want y'all moving down here with y'all foolishness. Your liberal foolishness, your political foolishness, y'all can keep that shit where y'all are at, up at these blue states. Okay, we don't want y'all moving down here to these red states and messing things up for us. And you know what? I don't blame these red state folk for saying that. I don't blame y'all, because if it was me, if I was living down south, if I was living in one of these red states, I would say the same thing. So, I don't blame you red state folk for not wanting the blue state folk to come down and move in y'all states. I don't blame y'all. But anyway, man, with all seriousness, us blue state folk, we need to stop voting Democrat. We need to. Because voting Democrat has done way more harm than help to our states. Voting Democrat has caused more problems, and it made our states look like shitholes. Voting Democrat has made our states look like shitholes. It has. Okay? So, with that being said, all of us blue state folk, we need to just come together and we need to just make the choice to stop voting blue and start voting red. Because if we do that, our way of living will be a lot easier and a lot better. So with that being said, I'm done. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, and I'm out. I love y'all. Peace.